Yes, yeah. So, yeah. What's up? What's up? My name is Riley, the anime dad, and I'm a freestyle rapper. I rap about all things anime, and I'm quite excited about it. Now, give, I'm not going to ask you to give me a beat because of the lag, but get ready for this. I'm a, I, I'm a freestyle rapper, and I'm here to say, Deku Midoriya has hay for his ponies, his horses, his friend Bakugo. Um, Uraraka is such has such a flow. Yeah, so that's me. That's my best work. You can find it on Spotify. And with me, we have.
Someone who only wished he could freestyle rap even half as good as you just did. My name is Bjorvio, and it is an absolute honor and pleasure to be here on the Anime Dad and the Anime Dudes podcast with Freestyle Anime Dad. I tried to think of a better name, and it just flew right out one ear, out the other. Couldn't think of it, man.
Freestyle Anime Dad works. And I'm a poet, and I didn't even know I was. So, yeah, I'm quite excited about my rapping career, but let's get into the podcast because that's what this is all about. And this time, for our improv questions, I was thinking I start with my three, and then you pump out your three after that. And for those newbies, improv means improv. They're right off the cuff, and the answers are right off the cuff, but that doesn't mean they're not genius. That doesn't mean they are
As
genius
you'll
either.
soon find out.
You'll soon find out. Okay, you have been tasked to rename the starter for Pokemon. What are their new names?
um, Leafy back, um, Flame Tail, um, the greatest thing since sliced bread, and the mice under thick thunder's bed.
Yes, and that rhymed. I thought you were going to say Zenitsu, Tanjiro, and Inosuke. That's actually not bad. Inosuke is kind of like a Bulbasaur. Zenitsu's like Pikachu. Tanjiro's like Squirtle.
Squirtle. Maybe Nezuko is like Charmander?
Yeah. She doesn't she like the blood turns into fire or something?
Yeah, yeah, so there you go.
Second question for you, and this is a big one. This is one that you might have to think about for 0.7 seconds, and
I'm
it
nervous.
is. Let's say you had to hike up Mount Everest. At the
Mm-hmm.
top, you meet a lady, and she asks you to paraglide down together. Who's the lady, and what is your excuse to not paraglide with her?
Um, I am gonna go with someone who I think could paraglide, and that's your forger. I also think she has the endurance to stand on Mount Everest, so that makes sense. And the reason that I am not gonna glide down with her is because I am her target. So, I want to make sure she doesn't get me.
Oh my goodness, you just blew my mind. That changes the whole scenario, and that's terrifying. Third and final question. Let's say one day a new animal comes out of the bushes, and it is an anime animal. You're in the Dragon Ball Z universe. It's an anime animal. What features does it have, and will it be your friend or enemy?
So it is a purple dragon with little tiny wings and sharp teeth. And it likes to sing songs and dance and fly around. And no, I will not be its friend because, and I'll tell you why. I know that sounds rude, but if I'm gonna have a dragon as a pet, okay, I want an elder dragon. I want like one that's seen things. I want one that's powerful, not one that can sing and dance. If I wanted something that can sing and dance, I would just look in the mirror. You know what I mean?
That's very true. Hey, me and my daughters watched, before you get into your improv questions, we watched this movie called Kaiju or something like that. It's a movie on Netflix, and
Hmm.
it's Kaiju. What was the movie called? Don't know, but it was very good. It was based in Japan, and it was about this guy called Ultraman, who you'll love it. I'll send it to you after, but it was really cool. And the reason I thought of it is because you're as cool as him. And yeah, yeah. What's your improv questions for me, Ultraman?
All right. So I want you to pretend that or I guess you wake up in a scene where the guy that you see at the grocery store every day that checks you out turns into a giant kaiju-like monster, and everyone's running away except for you. Why are you not running away from this massive kaiju?
Because I pooped myself, and if I run, it'll get everywhere. And I I'm not running. I'm walking or hobbling over to the adult diaper section, and I'll grab a couple of those, and then I'll get out of there right quick. Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, I wasn't going to admit it. I actually remember when we sent those things about not to what not to bring up on the podcast. That was kind of one of them.
Yeah, sorry, man. I forgot about your crappy day. I mean, yeah, my second improv question is so you become a Ronin, a wandering sword for hire throughout Eastern Europe, where you are just walking around offering your services. You're not really making a lot of money. So you call up Inosuke to give you some advice on being a wandering person. So he takes holes and everything, and you barely make it out of there alive. And you finally walk over and you get your first mission, and it's to take out Lloyd Forger. How do you do it?
Great question. Really good question. Well, the first thing I do, Lloyd's a gentleman. I'd drive up to his house in a limo. You know, I'd probably reserve some really lovely seats at a good restaurant. Um, and, you know, I'd take him out right. We'd have some good food. Uh, we'd go to a movie. We'd be home before 10. And I'll make sure he's taken out correctly. Um, so, great question. And, you know, great answer as well, I believe.
Yeah, even better answer than the question if I'm being, yeah, so good. It was amazing. Okay, my final question for you is you um let's say that Edward Elric was transported into the My Hero Academia universe, and everyone thought that he had a quirk. And he's trying to explain to them that it's alchemy. And they're like, yeah, that's your quirk. And he's like, no, that's just that's science. Like that's how that works. And everyone's like, no, 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 it's because of your quirk. And he's like, no, it's science. So no one will believe him. So he's like, I need to call in some backup. Who does Edward call to convince everyone that alchemy is not his quirk?
Ooh, ooh, good question. Um, he would definitely call. What's that girl? Winry, because she's straightforward. You know, she is. She explains probably the mechanics behind things quite well. I know she doesn't understand alchemy too well, but if Edward gets out of line, she'll also smack him around a little bit to keep him in line. So yeah, that's why she'll call. He will call Winry, but they still won't understand. And that's okay. He will be the alchemy man, and that's how his. Actually, probably Deku would believe him, and Deku would probably be an alchemist as well as a one for all user.
Oh, that would be so cool. Can you imagine like being able to use alchemy through Black Whip? That would be so cool.
That's a good combination. I definitely like that. Um, that gets me excited. What's on our agenda today to talk about? Actually, maybe while you explain it, you could freestyle rap about what's on our agenda.
So the thing that we're gonna be talking about today is people who grow in many different ways, people who get stronger and their personalities grow, people um whose stories need to be told. These are the people who grow the most in anime. If you don't like it, then get it out of my way.
Whoa, that was fire. That was fire. We're talking about growth, as Bjorvio so eloquently put. And I think we just do it how we did last episode. We just talk just one, 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 one. We don't do three, two, one. We just talk about people. We keep it smooth. We keep it shaka. We keep it relaxed. What's your thoughts on that?
Fine with me. Yeah, whatever you want to do, man. I'm good with that. Yes, sir.
Who
All right,
is
all right, all right.
who is on your list?
So I feel like it's disingenuous to have a list like this and not bring up Vegeta, because Vegeta is one of the first main characters that in like from early anime that just had this amazing growth spurt. And it's Vegeta's is so eloquently done from start to finish, where it's not just like, it's not over one arc where Vegeta's like, I'm a villain. No, I'm not. I'm gonna blow up Earth. No, maybe somewhat. No, it's over many different arcs throughout Dragon Ball Z, and then depending on GT and Super, he has other growth that happens in there that's unique to those series. And then in the manga, it goes on even further. Like Vegeta is consistently growing, which is honestly kind of rare. But I think Vegeta is just he's a prime example of growth done right, in my opinion. Please tell me that you don't disagree with me, because otherwise I might hit myself in the toe with a hammer, a toy one, but a hammer nonetheless.
I'd love to see that, so I disagree. No, Vegeta is absolutely amazing. He is more of a family man. He's hard, he had a terrible upbringing filled with a lot of trauma,
Right.
a lot of pain, which made him into the man he was, and who was heartless, who was filled with aggression, and he has slowly moved away from that. He focuses on family. He really cares about his family. That's my Balma. That's my Kakarot. He goes hard for his family, and I love that. So you're right. Vegeta is the pinnacle of someone who's changed their ways. So great choice. Now, going on a different route, who is the solo leveling main character? What's his name?
Oh shoot. I don't remember his name, to be honest, but yeah, that's a pretty substantial change.
Bro,
Um,
it is absolutely ridiculous. Um, his change was incredible, and like, I remember the flashbacks going to that when he started. I was like, is that the same guy? They transform
right.
him gradually, so his physical transformation was amazing. His mental transformations there as well. But what I liked about him, even though he had a change in his appearance, a change in his personality, he still had a heart. He wasn't overly proud. He's still humble. He's still kind, and he still cared for people, even though people looked to him as the ultimate by the end of the series.
Mhm.
So that's why I've added him on my list.
Excellent. I think it's really explored solo leveling, right? Like not just the anime, but like the books and stuff outside of that, right?
Yeah, yeah, the books as well. It just explains it so beautifully and so well, and yeah, absolutely love that change. Really special. Who's next on your list?
All right, so mine is one that I'm not gonna lie, I have gotten some flack for this one. Um, and all I'm saying is just wait and you'll see what I mean. And that is Zenitsu Agatsuma. I will stand on this hill and I will throw waffles at people who don't believe me because yes, I understand Zenitsu can be annoying at the beginning of Demon Slayer. I, I understand. I don't agree, but I understand. Um, and then we do see Zenitsu go through some, some growth and some changes. And then at the end of season 4, I've seen comments online from people that haven't read the manga, and they're like, Zenitsu's acting different. I wonder what's going on. And I'm like, he's cooking. Let the man cook. Cause y'all like people like I see comments of people being like, "Oh, I'm excited for the fight against Upper Moon 1." Bro, same. I'm excited against for the fight against Upper Moon 3. Bro, same. I'm excited for the fight against Muzan. Bro, same. You know what I'm more excited about than any of those? Zenitsu's fight. Like 100%, I will stand on that hill and throw waffles with syrup at people because Zenitsu's growth is one of my favorite growths in all of anime.
Can I get one of those waffles? Because I love waffles with syrup. That's very, really special.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll do that. I'll add some butter and some peanut butter for it, and I'll serve yours on a plate for you.
Thank you very much. No, I haven't seen his change yet, but I believe you. And I've seen a gradual change already, and I'm excited to see the change. And your conviction, the way you talk about it, gets me excited. So what does he go from? Let's say voice actor wise, do a sentence on what the previous Anitsu would say, and do a sentence on what the new improved Anitsu would say.
Please hurry up and marry me. I don't want to die anymore. Ah! Why can't everyone just be my friend? You're too slow.
And that's him awake.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited. I'm excited. That's interesting. That is a big change. Wow.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's up there. Like I once Zenitsu's arc is done, like in the like everyone's gonna be like crying or whatever throughout multiple different things in Demon Slayer. And when Zenitsu's fight is gonna start, like, bro, I'm gonna be so excited just because I'll be able to talk to people about it now. Like the fact that I've been holding this, like, I don't really have many people I can talk to about it because I don't know anyone that's caught up on the Demon Slayer manga. So I really haven't talked to anyone about this in over a year. So I cannot wait for that to come out because then it's just going to be like, you let that man cook and he is well done.
I'm pumped. That's a great one. That's a really good one. The next one on my list, I was thinking about Greed from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes. Oh, Greeds is so good.
He is so good. It's such a good change. And again, massive transformation. And even though he is connected with that prince,
Ling.
yeah, yeah, it's still an incredible transformation on Greed's part as well. And it makes you really believe in him as a person. The reason I'm looking away constantly is because the wind is insane here. It feels like I am uh, in the center of the storm, and I'm excited. But yeah, Greed is a great one. Would you agreed?
I have agreed with you from the moment you said greed because greed is just a so stinking well done from the moment that he was introduced on screen to the moment that you from the last time you see him on screen. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, yeah. You do you have anyone else? Of course.
I have two more actually. One of them I actually made a PowerPoint slide as a joke talking about this person's growth because someone didn't believe me and dared me to do a PowerPoint and I said No, show you. So I did. And that would be none other than Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite.
I cried so much at his growth. He's such a special growth character, and I'm so glad you chose him. Again, can you give me, before you explain, could you give me a sentence in what he was before and what he is now?
Shut up, Deku! Shut up, Deku. No, I'm kidding.
I
Uh
thought you were gonna say "Shut up, Izuku."
I almost did. Okay, no, but for real. Oh gosh, what somebody says at the beginning. I'm truly gonna be the next number one hero. You're gonna be the sand beneath my feet, Deku. Deku, come on, take my hand. We will win this. Did that cut out?
Awesome.
It might have.
No, it did. No, it came. It came through. That was great.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very good. Very good. And yeah, very special growth arc. Um, would you say he's one of your favorites, like top three?
Oh yeah, for sure. In terms of like their growth story, I think Bakugo has an amazing growth story from where he started to where he is. Like it's so obvious where he is. Like if you just look at a picture from Bakugo's face from season 1 and look at him from season 6 or 7, you can tell immediately with and that is how you know he's gone through some growth, okay? Bakugo is incredibly well written and may honestly be one of the top 3 or 4 written characters in MHA, which given how many characters there are, that is saying quite a bit.
That is real special, real good growth. My last one, um, that I can that I had thought about. He'd really taken a growth arc um, in a different way. Some people would say it's good, some people would say it's bad, and that's Aaron Yeager. He grew
Huh.
quite significantly from where he began to where he is at the end of the series. His perspective, his whole perspective changed on, even though information had come to light on, uh, and he was more educated on what was happening and why things were happening, he grew with that. Would you agree or disagree?
The thing with Aaron is I don't it's kind of interesting because I fall into the group of Aaron was more or less the same. Like his goals never changed, but the perspective he had changed. And because of that, Aaron took different courses. But let's say that you take season 1, Aaron Yeager, and put him in the final season. Would that Aaron make the same call? And to be perfectly honest, I don't know. And the fact that I don't know means Aaron must have grown. Because if it's not an immediate yes, then Aaron has grown. Even if maybe he was the same person, but his perspective changed and he had to learn to change with that. And he had to learn to make hard decisions. So yeah, I do agree with you in some with some um in some aspects of that. 100%, yeah.
Mm. Well, I'm glad you do, yeah, and you're right. It's a different sort of growth, and you're right. His personality necessarily hasn't changed. Who's last on your list?
My runner up is also kind of a different kind of change because it's not that the character changed, it's that the audience perspective of him changed. And so you really got a different appreciation for him throughout the series. So it's kind of a grow up without really growing up. It's kind of hard to explain. So let me just explain who it is. Von Hohenheim from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Because the first time you're introduced to him, you are basically forced to hate him. And as the series goes on, the more time you spend with Hohenheim, the more you're like, he's really not that bad a guy. And then by the end of it, you actually pretty much like Hohenheim. Honestly, I love Hohenheim. He's one of my favorite characters in anime. But and so it's kind of one of those like he's Hohenheim himself doesn't really change that much, but the way that we view him and the way that the information that we have changes our perspective of Hohenheim. So I don't know if you would count that as a change. I don't know if you would count that or not. It's kind of a weird circumstance, you know?
It's a great one though, and as soon as you said our perspective as an audience changes, I thought of Hohenheim, because you're right, it changes dramatically. I remember talking to you while watching it. I'm like, he's horrible. I hate him, and then the adjustments happen, and I was like, okay, not bad at all. So yeah, I completely agree with you there. Great character, great change, and great adjustments. Thinking of villains, I was thinking just before, Shigaraki changed quite significantly.
Yes. Shiggy was the first. As soon as you said villains, first one popped in my head was Tomura. Like it's just like even as someone who has finished MHA, my answer is still Tomura. Like oh my gosh, he's so good.
Yeah, I like him as a villain a heck of a lot more now. You know, he was childish a lot in the beginning, and his growth has been tremendous. What is his age in the beginning? Would you know his age? Would it be similar to Izuku's?
I want to say he's in his early 20s at the start of the series.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's interesting. A very, very good change. Very, and as a villain, interesting change as well. I can't think of any other villains.
Um, Let me think for a second. Oh, yes, but I can't say why. Upper Moon 3.
Okay, quite a significant change there.
Yeah, it's it's really good.
Oh,
Upper Moon 3 is probably my favorite antagonist in Demon Slayer.
right. Okay, cool. Someone who we should do one that's people who have remained the same, who haven't changed throughout the series, and I just thought of Frieza. You
I
know,
was going to say Sukuna.
Asuka's a good one too. Yeah, they just haven't necessarily changed tremendously. Um, but that's great. Do you have any other additions?
Any what? I'm sorry.
Sorry, any other additions?
Um, just a small one that I didn't realize until I was thinking of this. I feel like you would appreciate this too. I'm gonna throw out Nagisa.
Yeah, yeah. Nagisa is a great one. Yeah, really, really good choice as well. Nagisa. Naofumi has probably changed quite
Now for me.
significantly. But yeah, yeah, change is amazing, and a good growth arc just gets you excited, especially someone like Vegeta or Bakugo. For our improv scene today, I was wondering if you can take me down a bit of an anime D&D journey, like not a tremendously long one, but give me some questions. Maybe we can start off. I wake up in a dungeon, okay, and you just take me from there. You know, ask me questions. What do I want to do?
Okay. I have one question before we start on that, and that is what I need you to give me one or two abilities you have.
One ability uh, is rage, which increases my power by two, and the other one is pickpocket.
Got it. Okay. So you wake up in a dungeon, and there are the first thing that you see are there these sticky purple balls all over the floor. Um, and you see something run from in the corner of your eye from the other side of the room. Give me a perception check.
12. I need to get to that.
Okay, so what you see from the other side of the room is you see a tall man wearing all black with a scarf around his neck. And the only other thing you see are red eyes staring back at you. What do you do?
All right, I've got my dice here, so I can do it properly now. But red eye staring back at me. I say, "What's up, bro?" And I walk over to him.
Okay. Um, Give me a dexterity check to make sure that you don't land on any of the purple balls.
Oh no, as a D20 I roll, yeah.
Yes, sir.
10.
10. Okay. Your foot gets stuck on a purple ball, but it's just your heel, so there are a couple of options you have.
Okay, I take my shoe off and I keep walking.
Okay, that's the only time you get stuck. As you get over to them, they it's suddenly the red goes away and they kind of step back into the shadows a little bit.
Okay, I pursue them.
Okay. Um, Give me another perception check.
1.
You just keep right on going.
All right. I I look for an exit.
Okay, so you do find two doors. One of them you can both doors seem to be pretty dark. One of them you can see does have a torch like in the other side of the room from the one that's opposite of you, which is not the room that this person ran into.
Okay, I go into the room that he ran into.
Okay. So you go in that room and you see a shrine made out of human skulls, with a chair sitting on it or sitting on top of them. And you see a man with sitting on this throne, wearing his scarf, and this time his eyes are not red. And he's looking at you and he says, "These are the ones that didn't let me take a nap. Are you going to let me take a nap, hero?"
I gather some dirt and make it into a pillow and say, "Please take a nap, sir."
Okay. He walks down, lays his head on the pillow. About 5 minutes later, he falls horribly asleep.
Right. I check his pockets.
Okay. Give me a dexterity save with advantage. So you'll roll twice and take the higher number since you're proficient.
19. 19.
Okay. You find a contact book in his pocket. And as you pull it out, you start kind of flipping through it. Um, the main cover has a the words M, I, and C written in big letters across it. There is also a weird looking box that looks like sound is coming out of it. See a bunch of names. These names seem like they're of people of legend. Like you've heard of them before, but you can't quite place something's off. You know them all by different names.
Okay, interesting. I like that. All right, I put that away. I get a sword out and hold it to the man sleeping and begin to try asking questions.
I thought you said you were gonna let me sleep.
I'm sorry, I just need to know what these names are. Where am I?
You tell me. Flip open a page in that book and see if you want to ask me any.
What what the heck are these names?
They were the names of former heroes. I'm sure if you look at some of them, you'd be able to know. Tell me you've heard of the hero Red Riot, right?
Ah, yes, I have.
Is his name in that book?
No.
As you look in the book, you notice um, Ijiro Kirishima is in the book.
Right. I like that. Okay, I keep looking through the names and I read them out as I do.
You start hearing a bunch of different names like Momo Yaoyorozu, Tenya Ida, Katsuki Bakugo. Towards you, when you get to the farther part of the book, you hear some other ones. Toshinori Yagi, Nana Shimura. And then finally, there's one on the back page of the book, circled. It says MIC.
MIC. Can I roll a perception check?
You can give me a history check on that.
16.
You do know that there was a hero that went by the name Mike.
Present Mike.
He turns from his pillow to look at you, says, I was never the same after he left. When he left this world, all that kept me sane was gone.
I,
And he reaches for his scarf.
Eraserhead?
Funny, that's the name he gave me.
What are you doing here, sir?
I'm stuck in a world of endless misery. I've been stuck here for a very long time. He kind of looks over and I went a little crazy. My students, they never accepted me for who I was anymore. So I stuck myself here. Thankfully, I brought all of my skulls I bought from Hobby Lobby on sale.
Why don't we pause it there and continue the next episode? Because that is great. I actually got goosebumps a few times. You're very good at this.
Did you have any idea that's where I was going?
No clue. No clue. I thought Sukuna at first with the skulls, and then I was
Yeah, I
like,
tried to throw you off with that.
I had no clue. So very very good. I like that. That was fun, bro. I loved that. All right. Well, could you take us out with Eraserhead's voice?
Sure thing. Thank you for listening to the Anime Dad and the Anime Dudes podcast. Yeah, we probably. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Enjoying growth arcs and stuff. I don't know. I really need to get some shut eye. So I'm gonna go find my sleeping bag and take a nice long one. Make sure and don't miss next week's episode because it's gonna be a totally rad, as the kids are saying these days. I don't know. Maybe I'm a few years behind that, but don't forget, class, go beyond. Plus
Plus
ultra.
Ultra.